Arr, matey. Okay, guys. So we were talking about Sea of Thieves. This is what popped up in the cup game of the MixedUp, whatever the heck it was called.
It was basically, does Xbox have enough first-party
First
games?
parties. And we were having a weird game. We landed on Sea of Thieves. So what we thought was having a sub video about Sea of Thieves, just talking about our experience.
Because he just starts rambling on and on and on and
I
so
barely
on.
spoke
So
in the
that's
previous
so
one.
that's why we have to do an intro to cut that out and make it into a new video, because that video was getting way too long.
Okay, you know what? We're going to have one which only I speak and one in which only you speak, and we see which one gets more views.
Dude, I can't even speak.
He does most of the videos on MixedUp.
I just can't speak. I'm not a,
Anyway, let's not
genuinely
get
a-
that morbid. So, guys, Sea of Thieves. This is what we'll be talking about in the next couple of minutes. Stay
Stay tuned.
tuned.
Stay
I guess.
tuned. Stay tuned.
I was going to say it's locked, but then I said no, it doesn't.
all
work.
your pirate, bring all your pirate friends, because
Bring your bounty, mates, sir.
because we'll be discussing Sea of Thieves,
We've been
living
playing
your
it sometime.
pirate fantasy.
Yeah, sort of. I bet it's
We
pretty
did
close
play
there.
the beta, right?
We played the
What were
beta
your
the last
experience?
couple of days. Okay, so what I thought was it was real fun.
Oh, behind you.
What? तेरी तो
Shit, man. मेरे पीछे भी है कोई. कहाँ गया?
Now let's talk,
It was
let's
super
talk
fun.
about the good parts first. Talk about the good parts, cover those. The art style is beautiful. The lighting is amazing. I mean, rare, polished shows through the lighting and the
Exactly.
colors, and it's very pleasing to the eyes.
It seems to be polished. Do you think it's going to sell Xbox? One question is that. Other question is what I personally feel.
Let's hear the negatives from you.
It's not a $60 game. Yeah, that biggest negative that I have is for the first 2-3 times you go into this quest loop of finding treasures and other things. You have riddles and sprinkled in with few monsters that are skeletons and other things. It's
Only skeletons.
Ship
so
control,
far.
ship control, teamwork.
Yeah.
It's built upon really well. You feel that you're part of a ship and other
Yes.
things. But my problem is once you'll do it twice, once you've done it 2-3 times, you've done a little more challenging quests and other things. How many times can you go on repeating it over and over again? Because I don't see any progression in it.
I guess,
There's no ship upgrades.
No.
There's no character upgrades.
apart from the commendations and which
Let's
are
take
not upgrades.
cosmetics and other. There's no RPG skill progression.
No, there is nothing.
So there's so my time investment and whatever I've seen in terms of PvP content, I can't talk about PvP content, because when we'll have players only then we can truly experience it. But in terms of pure enemy player versus enemy content, I just didn't find it to be fleshed out. I don't see it as a $60 game. For streaming, it's a fantastic game.
See, even whether it's 60 or 40, I don't see it them. My problem is, even if it is a $40 game, I find that an excuse or exercise in futility, because this has been a game in some time in development. It's been a game that's being developed by Rare, a studio with pedigree. It's been a game that's a highlight by Microsoft for 2018 that they're trying
That's
to
the
push.
only game
the
that
only
they
game
have.
out here, right? Which is a first party. So it should be a $60 game, worth a $60, like being a $60 game.
Exactly.
If they say it doesn't have all this, but it's a $40 game, doesn't cut it. It's stupid. We'll give it a benefit of the doubt, but the thing is that you have to understand it's coming, March 20th?
March 20th.
And so far, what we saw were some pretty glaring flaws, which I'm not sure can be repaired in just 20 days.
But
in
they
an
were
MMO.
clear about the fact that they have cut stuff out of it for the beta.
Okay.
They've not given the full blown.
Content wise, they say that there's the map which we saw, and there are going to be like other maps as well. I mean, it's going to be a Caribbean area and etc. Different zones in the map itself. Fine. Okay, there'll be some weather dynamics. Maybe there may be some wildlife, which I don't know how that's going to help. Now, apart from that,
Wildlife you collect for the trading company.
yeah, so apart from that, like what we were doing was these quests for this treasure hunters or something. You won't need chests for them. Now, on all that, the only thing that was a highlight, like you said, was the dynamics of the team and the
Exactly.
boat.
The fun
When
of
you're on the
controlling
boat,
this. Exactly.
you're on the boat, you're controlling it. You're get the rigging, get the anchor, turning the ship, steering it, and manning the cannons.
You cannot never control it straight.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
always have to guide
As
it.
if-
Where are you going? It's
He's
south.
like-
It's like east.
The map
west.
is here. End is
Oh
here.
my
And,
God.
and we're here. He's like, no. Just keep it straight. Little bit to the left. I'm like, dude, it's an ocean in front of us. We just
Oh
need
my
to have
God,
a general
it's
direction.
How hard it is. Just point to east and
The ocean was pushing me
and
to one
just
side.
go straight. You're
Wasn't my
like east.
fault.
You from east. You start going south.
That wasn't
Oh my
me,
God.
dude. That was the wind pushing us that side. I was trying to course correct. Anyway, the thing is, the talking about PvP, the cannons are fine. Okay, ship to ship battle. But the the FPS,
The combat mechanics.
mechanics
It
of,
just feels
in the
clunky.
first person view is bad.
But see,
I won't even say it's clunky and unrefined. It's just bad.
I understand that they want to go for a raw feel to it.
This is flawed.
No, flawed because I don't get a response, a feedback from it.
There's
so
no-
I don't.
there's
I don't
no
get
feedback, one.
That's the biggest problem.
Then the hitboxes are so badly done, and even the way your UI is, not the UI, but the way you see your weapon and the way it reacts is stupid. There's no way to aim when you fire your pistol or your whatever it is, your sidearm, whatever it was called then.
it's based on your raw aim. Like,
Fine,
it's just a
okay,
real-
I agree with that. But then somehow the collision mechanics between the two don't work. And if you're going to have PvP, I don't see how that's going to work. Apart from that, if you're just going to stick onto things like treasure hunting and have different variations of that you get it from point A, deliver point B, get gold, and repeat, rinse
Maybe
and
there's a
repeat.
map, there's a riddle for it, or
But
something.
how
else.
long? That works 2-3 times, and
when
then the
it-
variants are
and
the same.
when you're talking about PvP, my biggest concern is I understand that it's going to be flat in terms of progression, so anybody who jumps into are going to be on the same level. But
Yeah.
still, a bigger ship will always overtake a smaller ship.
Yeah.
And we felt so many times we were
Yeah,
bullied.
bullied by-
right? We were trying to work. So
We were on a sloop.
Once it's fun. Twice it's okay.
Yeah.
When the third time in the row
It
in
just
the
gets
next 5
annoying.
minutes we could not get the treasure.
No, we
the
couldn't.
beta ended.
Yeah.
We
We were
could
running,
not
we were
solve
like
that
1 foot away from the treasure. And I'm like,
because we
no.
were bullied. So I have
Yeah,
my
it's,
concerns are some people are going to be trolls.
Yeah.
How would you control that?
And the thing is that everyone would then end up in going towards a galleon.
Exactly.
It's fine if there's one vessel which is maybe fast and agile, but it equally strong maybe, or there's some way of fast and the rest is lumbering but more firepower. This does not. These don't coincide. They're very different. It's like a life raft versus the Titanic. So.
In my World of Warcraft days, the biggest problem World of Warcraft was facing was these high-level characters bullying the low-level characters, going and killing the NPCs and other things. So it was outright bullying, right? And they wanted to destroy fun of other people.
Okay.
Right. And I feel when, for example, people that are more experienced, they have bigger ships and other things, they would gank on a particular place, a treasure place, and whoever is trying to do a quest, they'll always try to destroy that person. And
I guess I agree with that, but the thing is that's something you can't stop. There's something you can't stop. If the other person is not skilled enough, then naturally.
I think so to control it, what they have said is there's going to be a threshold. Every instance is going to have, for example, a set number of people that can join and other things. So, it's not going to be overcrowded by lakhs of people.
But
so
how will that work?
Because
that means if you want to do that quest, you won't be able to do it.
It's not like that. So, for example, if there's going to be a separate instance for
if there's so many people in one location,
rather than
it
if you have
won't
1,000
increase.
people who are basically logging in, so there are going to be probably 10 instances distributed between distributing those 1,000 players, so that it's not overcrowded and it's not chaotic.
Understood.
So that's one way of that they are going to control it. The only problem that I see with Sea of Thieves is I still do not see it as a game that people would invest into to buy an Xbox. See, you can always basically play it on PC.
Yes.
But even if in case it was purely an Xbox exclusive, I don't see it moving. It's still not captivating enough to move.
I see that like us, people would have got curious to see it. They might get curious, but the thing is that thrill dies down pretty fast. In fact, even with us, even in the first 2-3 missions, we wondered, is this it? I mean, is this all that's going to happen?
And that was just like few hours.
That was like just a few hours. That was like 2-3 hours.
So to round it off, I feel Sea of Thieves, I still have doubts on Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
I don't want to get overhyped for it. No. And you guys also should not get overhyped for it because we don't want it to be No Man's Sea.
Exactly. And Microsoft has done a decent job in not overhyping it.
It's done a decent job.
But
See, the problem is not that they have not done a decent job or they have done a shabby job. The problem is we in our minds we are going to have monsters. I've seen people who have not played the beta. They have these wild expectations about Sea of Thieves. Like there's going to be this monsters.
You know what I would have loved? I would have loved one if there was character progression, actual physical character progression. Second, if there was vessel progression of your ship, you could kit it out like you could in Assassin's Creed.
I understand.
One second, and third one, that you could actually craft materials, get materials to upgrade your ship, like wood and so many things, because you see a lot of resources around.
You can get wood.
You pick up a plank and you bring it, but it's very rudimentary.
So you want wood cutting in there?
No, really. I mean, if you have crafting and upgradation of some sort, fine, you have that wood, maybe that turns into planks, you can use it to build various things on your boat and your ship. It would have been a big deal. It's a little too rudimentary for my liking so far. I mean, that's
you don't want to bog down with complexities also. You can
not
need to
too
keep
much,
it
but
simple.
It's simple, it's nice. I mean, Steve Jobs, simplicity equals usability, but the thing is that the usability in this case has a lot of barriers in it. There's not much you can do.
You need to also understand it's not one person who's doing everything. So you have so many moving parts. You have other people doing other things. What if Psycho does not repair the freaking hull breach that is happening?
No, the young Hanzo is so handsome. Like, he's so handsome. And Genji was so good.
Are you going to be doing the repair?
And you have 3 different things that you need.
How do you know she doesn't collude with the enemy ship and blow us out of the sea?
You can't just nail the plank over there. You need to have nails. You need to have wood. You need to cut the wood. You need to process the wood. And you're telling Psycho at that particular point of time, do this, bring those nails, do it. By that time, the ship is going to sink.
I know, Psycho is not reliable. I mean, that would be like healing and Overwatch.
So,
Psycho, I need healing. Oh, I'm dead. Psycho, I need healing. Oh, I'm dead. Like, then become a DPS.
So, the thing is, in that front, I feel developers, they are intelligent people. I think so. They would have considered everything, that the complexity and other things.
I hope they expand it from what it is. That's
probably yes. I understand your concerns also, because you feel that once you've done it, there's nothing more to do in it.
Exactly.
Next is in terms of progression. I understand that why developers are avoiding progression is because you don't want they're
offset.
No, there should not be a skill gap.
Fine.
Between people.
Don't have that. Have a little more. I think probably cosmetic wise it will be added. But I wish the ships could have been kitted out.
Exactly.
I wish that could have happened.
In Overwatch, basically, your progression lies in the fact is learning new heroes and increasing your skill with that hero.
But that's not the case here.
That's not the case.
Mechanics are very limited.
What I was saying was that so Overwatch is like anybody can jump into it and still does not feel intimidated like they would do in a World of Warcraft. Like, he's level 80 and I'm here. He has the best gun and I don't have the weakest gun and stuff like that. So it's flat. So the progression is flat, which I like, rather than expanding it horizontally. Vertically. They can expand it horizontally. That's what I can.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I hope they do that, and I hope they do it soon, because having a DLC 6-7 months down the line or expansion won't help much, because by then you can't forget there'll be other. Sony would be bombarding people with IPs.
They just finish off the content like this.
I mean, within 2 hours we were feeling a little.
Within few days in No Man's Sky, people had discovered planets and they said that we can't see each other. We are on the same planet.
Exactly.
Sean Murray. And he was saying that it's going to take ages that you're going to find that, and it's virtually impossible for 2 people to even be on the same place at the same time on the same planet.
Exactly.
And so it's like where's the multiplayer you promised?
That happened with us in Sea of Thieves. Like, where are you? We'll see that in a video coming up. Anyway, long outro. So that's what we think about Sea of Thieves. We'll be coming up with a sort of review or impressions when we get our hands on it.
So at the end of the right now, what I feel is Xbox is still in a shaky place. It's something
Yeah.
they need to invest in good first party.
I mean, going from Sea of Thieves to this, and definitely why we get a little nervous for Sea of Thieves is because it seems like the only lonely guy out there.
It's the only game that's coming up for
so-
as far as we know
Yeah,
for
I mean,
2018. Crackdown, we don't know whether it's going to come out
No.
this year or not. Frankly
We
speaking,
don't know. I guess it would, but the thing is, I don't see it being that big a deal, and shaking a lot of ground. I don't really see it. I don't really see it happening. And I mean, Microsoft, I hope they're listening. They've got great services, like we pointed out earlier. They've got fine hardware. They just need to put their ducks in a row.
exactly.
I mean, for their
and
IPs
we can have
studios.
we're going to be having another video where we discuss about how they can move forward and
Yes.
whi-
We've got a
which-
sub video attaching to this. We didn't want to add it in here. It would have been too long. What they can
basically
plan in
it
their
was
way
two
forward.
guys sitting over there
And brainstorming.
giving tips to
To
the
a
biggest
massive
company out
billion-dollar
there.
company that we're
That's
really
what we're
smart.
trying. We are really smart. We'll tell
I
you
guess those
exactly
glasses
where
come
to
on screen
invest,
now.
what to avoid, who to pick up, and how to move forward.
Yeah, and
And
we're really proud of that.
and we are not charging anything.
Yeah.
You can give us anything, but I don't mind.
Kicking ass and taking names.
Right, but we would not be charging anything because we genuinely feel Microsoft is in a great position to great software
And we
for their
wanted to
console.
succeed. We want them to have competition towards Sony. And
Exactly.
we always, like we said earlier, console competition is required. No matter what people say, they shouldn't kid themselves. I mean, the fighting pits of gaming are consoles. So,
Exactly.
because they're two parties strung together. Innovation comes up. It's capitalistic. It moves forward. Better value comes about.
So
Okay,
that wraps it up.
Yeah,
All right. So guys,
I think he'll do the outro. Who are you?
you do the outro. You do the outro.
Fine, guys. I'm Smokedship.
And I'm KanKicks.
This is MixedUp signing off.